So, are you planning on playing Diablo 4 with some of your friends, or are you just kind of curious about how is scaling going to actually operate here for the game when it comes to level, since Diablo 4 is pretty much a MMO at that point, and there is a lot of questions around scaling and co-op play and how that will actually operate. And of course, today I am here to break down everything you need to know about party scaling as well as solo play inside of Diablo 4. But before we hop on into that, I do want to give a giant thank you to everybody that is supporting over on patreon.com/Maconn. Link in the description for it. And of course, any bigger thank you to 1K for supporting at the Lunateal. Thank you, my dudes. And with that, let's jump into that and let's break down everything you need to know about enemy and co-op scaling. So to start off, when it comes to your adventure inside of Diablo 4, when you enter a zone, it will give you a heads up of like, hey, this zone is roughly at Y and Z level. So how this operates is if you are below that recommendation, that is what level all the enemy going to be. If you are higher level than it originally stated, such as example, if an area is level 15 and now you're level 18 and you come into the same area, that area will now scale up to you to what level you are. So the level it only set if you below what it recommended. So with that, pretty much as you progressing through this, the enemy themselves will become more and more powerful. As such, you will. But do not worry, at least from the beta anyway, I can go ahead and say it doesn't feel like this is one of them bad situations. Well, I'm pretty sure we all have played game with scaling like that. Well, you will be, spent hundreds of hours getting a better armor and weapon, and then the enemy still one-shots you, or still doesn't feel like they really die at all, and you have no sense of power growth. At least from the beta, it did not seem like that going to be the case at all when it comes to Diablo 4. I still feel like I am powerful and able to take on the enemies. But with that being said, it still can get very chaotic if you get surrounded. But it does do a very good job, any with enemy scaling, to still make it feel like you are progressing in power. So you do not got to worry about that. And as well as if you go back to older areas, you can still level up fairly decent, and you don't got to worry about getting nothing in return for returning to older areas. So this is fantastic, especially for the new player experience long term, and we will see if item drops and stuff will also keep it relevant for players old or new in the future. But nonetheless, as far as solo play and area play, that how this operate, if you are in a party with somebody, this will change a little bit. So pretty much what they will do is if you say you level 20 and you play in the beta as an example here, which is level cap at 25, and you join a party, then the player that is level 25 will see enemy that will be scaled up to roughly them level, and you will see enemy that is scaled to your level. So you guys will see separate level for enemies. But with that being said, though, we need to talk about ward tendency because it do play into this a little bit. And if you want more information about it, video a link above. But nonetheless, if you are playing with somebody who is playing on a harder setting with ward tendency than you are, or maybe you higher and they lower, but they quit the party, your character will drop to that ward tendency. So in return, you will then start fighting enemies that would be, on par with that difficult setting. So if an area, say, is 15 on normal, and then on tier 2 ward tendency, is that zone like level 17, then if you below 17, you're going to be fighting level 17 enemies. Well, if your companion that you're playing with is that level, they will be fighting enemy roughly around their level. So we do have a little bit of scaling now. And also, if you do a join co-op, at least in the quote beta, once you leave the party, you will stay at that tendency that whoever created the party was on. So be sure to make sure you change it back, or, keep an eye on that. Once again, it could be a bug. That could be on purpose. I am not sure, but something to keep in mind here. But nonetheless, that is pretty much how a going operate for the most part. The only exception to this will be, of course, if you're taking on outposts, they will, of course, be also scaled a little bit higher than what you are, since they are supposed to be more challenging, and also content that is more meant for doing in co-op, at least at the time of the closed beta and open beta anyway. So to keep that in mind, level might change a bit around there, and scaling might change a bit when you are taking on Stronghold. But outside of that, everything roughly stay about the same. I get also outside of war tendencies. But nonetheless, that is how power scaling work inside of a Diablo 4. And I am very, very happy to feel and to be able to say that power scaling or enemy level scaling is not going to actually affect the feeling of power. You will still get your experience and still feel like you're growing, which is fantastic. And hopefully you have found this video helpful. If so, make sure to thumbs up, subscribe, hit all the bells below to keep up with any more Diablo new gameplay tips, guides, and everything else in between. And with that, I will see you tomorrow for another Diablo 4 video, as well as in the comments.